Alright, here is a short film review that I want to do. And this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. And this is from a very old, I think it's a short film. I'm trying to remember what year it was. I think it was in like the 90s, 80s, whatever. And this is called Country of the One Eyed God. And this stars none other than Paul Campbell, who's was the main character antagonist in it. And it was about him and his very important interaction with his grandmother, who's a mommy. And in it, Paul Campbell plays this criminal fugitive named Jacko, and mommy is his grandmother. And it starts off where him and his accomplice rob a store in downtown, which results in Jacko killing a guard, and then he and his partner cornered by the police, results in his partner being killed. That's what they mentioned, and forcing Jacko on the run. So you see, like this old tenement yard where his grandmother, who's living in his woman who's known as grandmother, mommy, is talking to her neighbor Zach, and they basically talk about how Jacko was pretty much a demon seed, that that no matter how hard she tried to discipline him, because that this is a child that was so bad that no matter how many times she had to like punish him, that the guy was just gone down a path of the dark path. Because he said that after a while, after all the beatings she used to give him, that he stopped crying, and he just basically said that Jacko always had this rebellious evil spirit in him, that it just made him, that no matter how hard she tried to raise him, that he was determined to be an outlaw, which law. So and I think and so his neighbor figures that okay, he's on the run, that he's going to come to her, which she assumes he's not, but she's wrong. I ends up at her doorstep at night because he's only there to get money so he can come out, leave the country and go overseas. And he reveals something that's very interesting about him. Reads about the psychology. He said that okay, his parents, what briefly mentioned, had emigrated overseas. Like they said, they left him with her to raise, and they left overseas, and then they basically abandoned him though, which is what basically set him, which is reveals at the root of his angst, that why or that anger, that dark evil side came out, that he said that okay, that they basically forgot about him, left him in Jamaica to be raised by his grandmother, which, and they kind of say that yeah, his parents share a blame in the monster he became ended up being. And because they basically said that oh, they basically left him in Jamaica, and then they started some new family elsewhere, basically saying that they were, I don't know if it's a case where okay, the parents decided okay that they decided that okay, this kid had a dark side and we just want to bring up here and cause ill repute, or they just say that fuck it, we just pass them on to the grandmother, because a lot of so-called parents in Jamaica do it, like they pass up their children to their parents for better or worse, and then and this is the end result. So you can just say at that point when the way Jacko talked is that despite the fact that his grandmother tried to raise him right, that his parents is basically just sticking him on her is what helped to create the monster he became. So yeah, you can say that hey, his parents helped to create him, but even though I excuse the fact that his grandmother tried her best with him, that he was just so that dark nature that was clearly always there with him, didn't stop him from going on that bad path. And I think it's revealed that he left her that what he before they parted sometime in the past, he stole money from her. So basically Jacko does this, that his destiny was sealed, that he was going to be on side of the devils. And in the interaction with his grandmother, they talk about religion. I did something so sinister, said that I'd like to pay you back for all the times you used to beat me. Basically mean that no matter how hard she tried to steer him down a good path, that innate anger and aggressiveness was what shaped his persona. And then he basically says that threatens to say, "Give me all the money you have. I'll build you here, or else." Meaning basically is that he's willing to kill his own grandmother just to get what he wants. And she pretty much gave him some pocket money, which he said, "Are you really serious? I mean, you think I'm that dumb? I don't know you have more money." And they basically said, "Okay, give me all the money you're saved up, the one that you're not telling me about, or else I'm gonna kill you." I mean, say, then I'll just, after I kill you, shoot you dead, I'll just go tear up the house and get what I wanted. But as Jessie's about to do that, because she's basically saying that I'm not giving you all the money. I mean, you stole from me already. Why they give you what I have left? And it goes into, and then she goes to pray and so on, that God will come intervene. And he said, Jack was very interested that this is the country of the one-eyed God, basically saying that God does sees things from one perspective. People like him, he doesn't see. Basically saying that I don't really believe in that God you worship. I mean, I believe in the moral opposite of that God. And as he's about to shoot her, police come and shoot him dead. And then his last words, he basically realizes that good won over evil in the end. And he said that his last word, which is so tragic, even though this was not a sympathetic character. This was a character that, in his last moments of life, just realized that okay, that hey, that I'm just, there is a God in a sense, and that God of justice pretty much meted out his justice for all the people he's harmed, and pretty much said that okay, in the end, at the end of the day, is that as a life comes out to me, that frightened little boy that I hid behind that very cold, evil exterior finally came out in his last moments, which was sad, but at the end of the day is that people like Jacko or kind of represents the kind of youths or people in Jamaica who pretty much have gone down a dark path, and they become cautionary tales for what happens when you that when you take up badness. Now bear in mind there's a whole bunch of Jackos in Jamaica. I many of them meet their tragic ends just like him, but there's a culture that breeds people of that caliber that we have to address. And I have to give props to Paul Campbell. Although I kind of have to say is that it's sad that he's stereotyped into just playing these villainous roles. But what I like about Paul Campbell is that he's such a good actor that he played a very convincing character, because he's kind of like Jamaican Michael Beach, whereas Michael Beach is typecast as playing these dark, sinister, villainous characters. Paul Campbell is really in that same mode where he plays these antagonists, and many of them end up being very frightening and very and cruel. But he does such a good job at playing them that you just basically said that you can just comment on how a good actor he is. But yeah, this is one of Jamaica's best films. Now, bear in mind, I don't like the gun culture that Jamaica likes to put in terms of movies and shows, that everything about the ghetto, everything about Batman and drugs, and it plays into that stereotype in America where everything has to be about the hood, thugs and gangsters, every negative stereotypes about black culture. But this is a very good one. This was one of the very good films that was done, short films that's done, because this was a very late type of short film, because there are a lot of people like Mommy, like who represents the older culture, who cling to religion for better or worse, and then Jacko, who's like different from the past generation, where they cling to violence and ruthlessness. And that's the kind of culture clash that we have in Jamaica, where many of the older generation cling to religion, the younger generations that keep coming up, many of them are the moral opposites of their predecessors. And yeah, that's what I had to do this film though. This is a very one of the best works from Paul Campbell. And again, I just regret that he's just typecast as playing villainous characters, but he played this character very well. Because like I said, there are a lot of jackals in real life, just like that are out there. So that's all I have to say. This is for my For State of Jamaica and the Caribbean, check out my other YouTube pages, Miles Goose and Farron. Miles Productions, Real Thoughts and Miles. All right.